You can just put more features into your dialog tool. It's free! So for the last 8 months, I've been working on a bespoke dialog tool in Godot because I was too lazy to read the documentation of existing ones. I'll go into more detail about this in the future, but for now I just want to focus on how I go about implementing new features. My basic approach involves testing, and a lot more testing. I always get the most substantial lists of improvements and changes to be made during or after a project, game jam or otherwise. At the start of 2024, for instance, I worked on a game jam and noticed so many things I still need to work on with this tool that I accrued work to tide me over for about 6 months. So yes, testing is good. With that in mind, I asked a game dev friend of mine if he'd be willing to give DIISIS the dialog tool a spin. Out of this came many conversations, but today I want to tell you my thoughts behind these 3 features that I implemented. I want to add some esoteric dialogue syntax, I want to improve the ways in which I hook into arbitrary code execution in Godot, and I want to tackle some general user experience improvements. The first task of today was creating a tag to put an empty anchor thingy at any position in a string within the dialog. This, so I learned, can be used to put arguments into shaders to only affect parts of the text. This is so esoteric and niche and so quirky, this had to make it into the tool. So what I needed to do was write a tag that would get replaced with an empty string when it gets passed into text on screen, and save that tag's position to some local array, and that I did. The only thing I needed to watch out for was also offsetting all the indices marked by these tags by the amount of space they take up themselves. Then I just hooked it up to my event system, which is just an autoload with a bunch of signals, and off it went. So let's get to tackling some user experience issues. DIISIS has a system called instructions that are meant to allow you to make function calls in Godot with some optional delay before and after the call. Currently, they feel very much like JavaScript, which sucks majorly. You'd get a dictionary that acts as a payload with the arguments and function name inside, and then you'd have to extract all function arguments from a dictionary. Callables in Godot 4 are such a godsend for things like this. I had to rework some internal syntax to switch the arguments from a dictionary to an array, but after a bit of work you could directly call any function as long as you put them into the correct script. Lastly, to make the hooking up between DIISIS and Godot even simpler, I added a button that can automatically copy the respective function signature to your clipboard for easy pasting into your scripts. Now lastly, let's talk facts. Facts in DIISIS are lifted directly from how the developers of Firewatch described their method of tracking world state in a few GDC talks. In DIISIS you can declare facts at any point in the document and then respond to them with conditionals. This allows you to create dynamic and branching dialogue. This menu here serves as an overview of these facts, and currently you need to press this button over here to go to a spot in the document where that fact is being referenced. The ability to double-click on this list item to go there would be really useful too, so that's what we're doing here. This is a type of UX improvement that is dead simple in hindsight, but just falls by the wayside when you're busy implementing features. Getting to see the ways in which others interact with your tools is why it's good to have an additional pair of eyes when implementing something and have others test your stuff. And that's it for today. There are so many more things I can talk about in the future, but at the moment everything is still deep in early development, trying to get to feature completeness and a smoother user experience. Subscribe and follow for more, check out my games on itch.io, see you later.